Hi, so welcome to the Vinyasa Dynamic Movement. So I have a strap here, a yoga strap. I will be using this in one of the poses. If you don't possess a yoga strap, then a dressing gown belt or a normal belt will be fine. Just make sure it's long enough so that you can get your hands up and over the head in that way. So if you want to grab hold of something that would serve that purpose, and make sure you have some water. It's quite a strong practice, but it's a great practice. We'll be not doing any holds at all throughout. We'll just be moving quite fluidly. So in and out of poses, sometimes of two poses. So enjoy the practice. Start with me at the front of the mat. So bringing your big toes in front of your heels, your feet in line with the hips. Just take a little softness through the knees so that you're not hyperextending. Take a little tuck down of the tailbone and a little lower belly lift. Thinking about that rib and hip tether, turning the palms forward towards the front, relaxing the shoulders, closing the eyes, growing up tall through the crown and grounding down into all 4 points of the feet. So thinking about the left and right side of the ball of the foot, the left and right side of the heel of the foot. Try not to rock too much on the outside edges or the inside edges. If you've got collapsed arches, quite often the knees drop in. So see if you can just bring those knees in one long line from the heel all the way up to the hips. Take a breath in. Take a long breath out. If you're happy to use the nose in and out through the nose all the time, unless you're holding a cold or allergies, in which case you may need to use the mouth. Take a scan of the body from the top of the head, all the way down to the fingertips, all the way down to the toe tips. Just having a check-in with anything that you need to look after, anything that you need to be mindful of if you have any injuries. If something doesn't feel right, there's always child's pose to come into, there's cat-cow, you could do some vinyasa work. Anything if a pose isn't right, go to something different or find some rest. With the eyes closed, just notice whether that body is rocking, or if you found a relative stillness in the body. The body won't always be 100% still, there'll always be those little movements that happen, all those muscles activating to keep that body up straight, the torso stacked on top of the hips. Bring your focus now to the breath. Count in for 4, hold for 4 at the top, count out for 4 and hold for 4 at the bottom. I'll let you do the counts. Keep all the time thinking about that full grounding to the floor. Making the next hold at the bottom the last of that count. Opening the eyes. Take a breath in, bring the hands up towards the ceiling. On the breath out, bring the arms out wide, bend the knees, pivot from the hips, bring the hands to the floor. Breath in, raise the hands back up to the ceiling, arms out wide, hands come together at the top. Breath out, bend the knees, pivot from the hips, bring the hands back down towards the floor. Let the head go. Breath in, raise those hands again back up to the ceiling, palms come together at the top. Breath out, bend the knees, pivot from the hips, bring the hands back to the floor. Keep using that breath as a guide to send your body in and out of extension and flexion. Breath out, bring the hands back to the floor, bend the knees, protect that lower back. Breath in, bring those hands back up to the ceiling, and the breath out, release those hands back down to the floor. This time just allow that chest to fold over the thighs, take a hold of the elbows, let go of the head, just give those arms a little circular movement in one direction, and then take them the other way. Then bring those hands back to the floor, bent knees. Next breath in, come up to a half lift, straighten the back, straighten the legs, hands on the shins. Breath out, bend the knees, bring the hands back to the floor. Breath in, straighten the legs, straighten the back, hands to shins. Breath out, bring those hands back to the floor, getting those hamstrings ready to flex and stretch. Breath in, stretch. Breath out, release. Breath in, stretch. Breath out, release. Breath in, stretch. This time bend the knees, bring the arms up, biceps by the ears. On your out breath, send the hands behind, come up onto the toes. Breath in, drop the heels, bring the arms back up ear height, keep that lower belly lifted. Breath out, bring the hands back and come up onto the toes. Breath in, raise the hands up to ear height. Breath out, bring the hands back, come onto the toes, keeping the hips low. Breath in, raise the hands. Breath out, send them back, come up onto the toes. One more time. Breath in, raise the hands. Hold it in this place, lifting the lower belly up, tucking the tailbone under, straightening up through the back as much as you can, lifting up through that chest. On your out breath, bring the hands to the chest, left elbow, right knee, and twist to the right. Breath in, back to the centre, hips stay low. Breath out, right elbow, left knee, and twist to the left. Breath in, back to centre. Breath out, left elbow, right knee, twist to the right. Keep knees in line. Breath out, back to the centre. One more to the left. Breath in, twist to the left. Breath out, back to the centre. Release the chest over the thighs, straighten the legs, let go of the head. Breath in, half lift, hands on shins. Breath out, release the hands to the floor, step both feet back into a plank position. Hold it in plank just for a breath. On your breath in, lift the hips, squeeze the heels back. Breath out, come back to plank. Breath in, lift the hips. Breath out, come back to plank. Breath in, lift the hips. Breath out, back to plank. One more time, breath in, lift the hips. Breath out, back to plank. Then release to the floor, either dropping the knees or straight bodies and tucking the toes, release down to the mat. Bring the hands out to the side, fingertips pushing in. Push into the hands, lift up the chest. Release the chest back down on the out breath. In breath, lift the chest. Get the neck involved, breathe out, release the chest back to the floor. Breath in, lift up the chest. Breath out, release. Breath in, lift up the chest. Breath out, release. Bring the hands by the side of the chest, tuck under the toes. Bring the chest back towards the thighs. On your out breath, bring those chests and hips back to the mat. Breathe in, push into the hands, lift the chest back to the thighs. Breath out, bring that chest back to the mat. Breath in, chest back to thighs. Breath out, chest back to the mat. Breath in, chest back to thighs. Hold it in that space, bring the forehead to the mat, reach forward with the hands. Then pushing into the hands and feet, on your in-breath, lift the hips, squeeze the heels back. On your out-breath, drop the knees and the seat to the feet. Breath in, lift the hips, squeeze the heels back to the mat. And on your out-breath, drop the knees, bring the seat to the feet. Breath in, lift the hips, drop the heels. Breath out, knees to the floor, seat to the feet. Breath in, lift the hips and squeeze the heels back to down dog. Come forward to plank, inhale. Just drop down the hips and keep the chest lifted. Breath in, back to plank, back to down dog. Breath out, back to plank. Drop the hips, chest lifted. Breath in, lift back to plank. Lift back to down dog. Breath out, back to plank. And drop the hips. Breath in, lift. Find your way back to down dog, then paddle the feet. When you arrive in this space, just making sure you have your strap available near the front of the mat. Bring the heels to stillness. Take a breath in, your right leg lifts. Bring the knee to the chest. Breath in, lift. Breath out, right knee, right elbow, squeeze. Breath in, lift. Right knee, left elbow, squeeze. And lift. Right knee to the chest, step the right foot through. Take a hold of the strap, lift the shoulders over the hips, keeping the back knee lifted, or drop the knee if you wish. Take the strap, widen the hands as much as you need to. Hands down by the front of the body. Breath in, raise the hands up to the ceiling. Breath out. Make sure that strap's long enough. Breath out, release the hands to the back. Breath in, raise the hands to the ceiling. Breath out, release the hands to the front. Breath in, raise those hands, getting that shoulder mobility. Breath out, hands back to the back of the body. Breath in, lift up and over the head. Breath out, back to the front. Breath in, up and over the head. Breath out, to the back. Breath in, up and over. Breath out, back to the front. Release the strap down to the left side of the mat. Lift that right leg up to the ceiling. Bring that knee to the chest. Raise that leg. Right knee, right elbow, squeeze. Raise that leg. Right knee, left elbow, squeeze. Raise that leg. Right foot back to meet the left. Come forward to plank, inhale. And back to down dog. Forward plank, inhale. Exhale back, A-shape down dog. Forward inhale. Back down dog. Come forward to a plank. Release to the floor, dropping the knees, straight bodies. Untuck the toes when you get there, tent the fingers. Push into the hands, lift up the chest. Breath out, release back down. Get the neck involved. Breath in, lift the chest. Breath out, release. Maybe close the eyes, switching internally. Breath in, lift. Breath out, release. Breath in, lift. Breath out, release. Bring the hands to the chest, tuck the toes under, push into the hands, chest back to the thighs. Breath out, hips and chest back to the floor. Breath in, chest back to thighs. Breath out, chest and hips back to the floor. Breath in, chest back to thighs. Keep that core center strong. Breath out, chest back to the floor. Breath in, chest back to the thighs, forehead to the mat. Hold it in this space for a breath. Then push into the hands, push into the feet, lift up the hips. Squeeze the heels back. Bring the knees back down. Bring the seat to the feet. Push into the hands, lift the hips, squeeze the heels back. Breath out, bring the knees to the floor and your seat to your feet. Push into the hands, lift the hips, squeeze the heels. Breath out, knees to the floor, seat to the feet. Push into the hands, lift up the hips, squeeze the heels back. Hold it in this space, maybe paddle the feet, nod and shake the head, maybe get the shoulders, elbows, knees and hips involved. Then release those heels down, bring them to stillness. Forward to plank, inhale. Drop down the hips, keep the chest lifted. Back to plank, back to down dog. Forward to plank, and drop the hips. Lift the hips, plank. Hips up, down dog. Forward to plank. Drop down the hips. Lift up the hips, plank. And back to down dog. Weight into your right foot, raise the left leg. Knee to the chest. Raise that leg. Left knee, left elbow, squeeze. Raise that leg. Left knee, right elbow, squeeze across the body. Raise that leg. Left knee to the chest. Step your left foot through. Take a hold of the strap. Bring the shoulders over those hips. Sink the hips low. Breathe in, raise the hands to the ceiling. Breathe out, hands to the back. Breathe in, hands to the ceiling. Breathe out, hands to the front. Get that shoulder mobility. Breath in, lift. Breath out, release back. Breath in, lift. Breath out, release forward. Back leg stays straight, front knee bent. Breath in, lift. Breath out, release back. Breath in, lift. Breath out, release front. One more time. Breath in, lift. Keep those arms wide. Breath out, release to the back. Breath in, lift. Breath out, release to the front. Release the strap down to the front of the mat. Place the hands either side of the left foot. Left leg lifts. Breathe out, knee to chest. Breath in, leg lifts. Breath out, left knee, left elbow, squeeze. Raise that leg. Left knee, right elbow, squeeze across the body. Raise that leg. Left knee to the chest. Raise that leg. Left foot to meet the right. Forward to plank, inhale. Back to down dog, exhale. Forward plank, inhale. Back to down dog, exhale. Forward inhale. Exhale, back to down dog. Forward inhale. Release to the floor, straight bodies or dropping the knees. Untuck the toes, tent the fingers. Push into the hands, lift up the chest. Release the chest back down. Get that neck involved. Breath in, lift the chest, lift the head. Breath out, release. Breath in, lift. Breath out, release. Breath in, lift. Breath out, release. Bring the hands by the side of the chest, tuck the toes under, bring the chest back to the thighs. Bring the chest and the hips back to the mat on the out breath. Breath in, chest back to thighs. Breath out, chest and hips back to the mat. Breath in, chest back to thighs. Breath out, chest back to the mat. Breath in, chest back to thighs. Forehead to the mat. Hold it in that space for a breath. Your next breath in, push into the hands and feet, lift at the hips, squeeze the heels back. Breath out, drop the knees, seat to the feet. Breath in, lift the hips, squeeze the heels back. Breath out, drop the knees, seat to the feet. Noticing how those shoulders and hips move through these spaces. Breath out, knees, seat to feet. Breath in, lift the hips and squeeze those heels back. Take a gaze in between the hands, take a bend in the knees, step or jump to the front of the mat and allow that body to fold over those legs. Take a bend into the knees, raise the arms up to the ears, lift the lower belly up. On your out breath, hands behind and come onto the toes. Breath in, drop the heels, raise the hands, chair. Breath out, send the hands back and come onto the toes, drinking bird. Raise those hands up, sink the heels. Find that drinking bird, lifting the heels, arms go back. Raise the hands, hold it in that chair space, keeping that lower belly lifted, tailbone tucked. Bring the hands to the chest. Left elbow, right knee, twist to the right. Breathe in, back to center. Breathe out, right elbow, left knee, twist to the left. Breathe in, back to center. One more both sides, left elbow, right knee, twist to the right. Knees stay aligned. Breath in, center. Breath out, right elbow, left knee, twist to the left. Breath in, center. Reach the hands up to the ceiling, maybe take a bit of a back bend. Breath out, bend the knees, fold from the hips, bring the hands to the floor. Breath in, half lift. Breath out, fold over those legs. Breath in, half lift. Breath out, fold over those legs. Breath in, half lift, straighten the back, straighten the legs. Breath out, fold over those legs, step both feet back. And lift the hips, down dog. Forward to plank. Drop down the hips, lift the chest. Back to plank. Lift the hips, back to down dog. Forward to plank. Drop the hips, keep the chest lifted. Back to plank. Lift the hips, squeeze the heels back. One more time, forward to plank. Drop the hips, lift the chest. Back to plank. Lift the hips, squeeze the heels back. Weight into the left foot, right leg lifts. Knee to the chest. Raise that leg. Right knee, right elbow. Raise that leg. Right knee, left elbow. Raise that leg. Right knee to the chest. Bring that right foot through. Stay low in the hips. Drop the left heel down. Windmill the left arm up, over. Raise the right hand to ceiling. Reverse warrior. Bring your right elbow to the right thigh. Left arm up and over. Side angle stretch. Reach that right hand back up to the ceiling. Left hand down the left leg. Reverse warrior. Right hand, right elbow, side angle stretch. Two more. Left hand down the back of the left leg, right hand lifts, reverse the warrior. Right arm, right thigh, left arm up and over. One more. Reverse warrior. And side angle stretch. Hold it in side angle just for a breath. Then bring that left hand down, right hand down. Raise that right leg to the ceiling. Bring the knee to the chest. Raise that leg. Right knee, right elbow, squeeze. Raise that leg. Right knee, left elbow, squeeze. Raise that leg. Right knee to the chest. Raise that leg. Right foot down to meet the left. Forward to plank, inhale. Back down dog. Forward plank, inhale. And back down dog. Inhale plank. Back down dog. Inhale plank. And release to the floor. Untuck the toes, hands 10 fingers, push into the hands, lift up the chest, release back down, Let that neck start to extend and flex. Breath in, lift. Breath out, release. Breath in, lift that chest. Breath out, release. Breath in, lift. Breath out, release. Bring the hands to the chest, tuck the toes under. Push into the hands, chest back to the thighs, seat to the feet. Bring the hips and chest back down, exhale. Breath in, push back. Breath out, release the chest and hips back to the mat. Breath in, push back. Breath out, chest and hips back down. Breath in, push back. Forehead to the mat, hold it in this space. Push into the hands and feet, lift up the hips, squeeze the heels back. Breath out, knees to the floor, seat to the feet. Breath in, push into the hands, push into the feet, lift the hips. Breath out, knees back to the floor and seat to the feet. Breath in and lift. And hold it in down dog just for a couple of breaths. Maybe paddle the feet, maybe move those hips, shoulders, elbows, knees. And then bringing those heels to stillness, encouraging those heels back. Having a nod, shake of those heads. Your next breath in, your left leg lifts. Bring the knee to the chest, squeeze. Raise that left leg. Left knee, left elbow, squeeze. Raise that leg. Left knee, right elbow, squeeze. Raise that leg. Left knee to the chest, step your left foot through. Keep the hips low, drop the right heel down, wiggle the right arm up, over, left hand lifts, reverse warrior. On your out breath, left forearm, left thigh, right arm reaches up over, side angle stretch. Breath in, reverse warrior, left hand lift, right hand down the back of the right leg. Left out, side angle stretch. Breathe in, reverse warrior. Breathe out, side angle stretch. Breathe in, reverse warrior. Breathe out, side angle stretch. And hold this space. Left knee bent, right leg straight. Bring the right hand down, left hand down. Raise the left leg to the ceiling. Bring the knee to the chest. Raise that left leg. Left knee, left elbow, squeeze. Raise that leg. Left knee, right elbow, squeeze. Raise that leg. Left knee to the chest. Raise the leg. Left foot to meet the right. Forward plank. Drop the hips, keep the chest lifted. Back to plank. Back to down dog. Forward to plank. Drop the hips, chest stays lifted. Back to plank. Back to down dog. Heels squeeze to the floor. One more time. Forward to plank. Drop the hips, shoulders lifted. Back to plank. And back to down dog. Gaze in between the hands. Step or jump to the front of the mat. Allow the body to fold over the legs. Bend the knees. Bring the arms up to the ears, chest away from the thighs.
I don't know that one.
And lower those hips. That's Alexa talking to us. Breath in, bring the hands behind, come onto the toes. Breath out, release the heels, raise the hands. Take that through those two places, lifting the heels as the arms go back. Dropping the heels as the arms lift. One more time, taking the arms back, lifting the heels. Raise the hands, drop the heels, find chair, tuck that tailbone down. Breath in, bring the hands behind, come onto the toes. Breath out, release the heels, raise the hands. Take that through those two places, lifting the heels as the arms go back. Dropping the heels as the arms lift. One more time, taking the arms back, lifting the heels. Raise the hands, drop the heels, find chair, tuck that tailbone down. Bring the hands to the chest, left elbow, right knee, turn, twist to the right. Come back to the center, inhale, twist to the left, exhale. Back to the center, inhale, twist right, exhale. Back to the center, inhale, twist left, exhale. Back to the center. Reach up with the arms, take a back bend. Fold over those thighs, bring the hands to the floor. Breath in, half lift. Breath out, fold over those thighs. Let the head go. Breath in, half lift. Maybe the hands come to the shins. Breath out and fold. Breath in, half lift. Breath out and fold. Step both feet back into plank. Lift the hips and squeeze those heels back. Weight comes into the left foot, right leg lifts. Bring the knee to the chest. Raise that leg on the inhale. Right knee, right elbow. Raise that leg. Right knee, left elbow. Raise that leg. Right knee to the chest. Step the right foot in between the hands. Raise the arms, high lunge. Bring your left hand forward, right hand back. Breathe in, raise hands back up, high lunge. Drop the back heel, warrior two. Take the arm down and around, inhale, toes of the back foot. Twisted warrior, right hand back, left hand forward. Scoop the right arm down and around, find high lunge. Drop the back heel, warrior two. Left arm scoops down and around, high lunge. Right arm goes back, left arm forward, twisted warrior. Right arm down and around, high lunge. Left arm back, right arm forward, drop the back heel. Bring the hands back around, find high lunge. Bring both hands down to the floor. Raise that right leg up to the ceiling. Bring that knee to the chest. Raise that leg. Right knee, right elbow, squeeze. Raise that right leg. Right knee, left elbow, squeeze. Raise that leg. Right knee to the chest. Raise the leg. Right foot comes to meet the left. Forward to plank, inhale. Back to down dog, exhale. Forward plank, inhale. Back to down dog, exhale. Forward plank, inhale. Back to down dog, exhale. Forward plank, inhale. Release to the floor, either dropping of the knees or straight bodies. Bring the hands, tent the fingers, push into the hands, lift the chest, lift the head. Breathe out, release back down. Make some fluidity through the neck. Breath in, lift. Breath out, release. Maybe close those eyes, switching internally. Breath in, lift. Breath out, release. Breath in, lift. Breath out, release the chest to the floor. Bring the hands by the side of the chest, tuck the toes under, chest comes back to the thighs. Then bring those hips and chest back to the mat. Breath in, chest back to thighs. Breath out, chest and hips back to the mat. Breath in, back to the thighs. Breath out, chest back to the mat. Breath in, chest back to the thighs. Forehead to the mat, hold it there for a breath. Next breath in, push into the hands and feet, lift up the hips, squeeze the heels back. Breath out, knees to the floor and seat to the feet. Breath in, lift, squeeze the heels back, down dog. Breath out, knees to the floor, seat to the feet. Variation of child's pose. Push into the hands, push into the feet, lift the hips, squeeze the heels back. Bring those knees to the floor,
seat to the feet. Push into the hands, lift up the hips, squeeze the heels back to downward facing dog. Breath in, left leg lifts. Breath out, knee to chest and squeeze. Raise that leg. On the inhale, left knee, left elbow, squeeze. Raise that leg. Left knee, right elbow, squeeze. Raise that leg. Left knee to the chest. Bring the left foot in between the hands. Drop the right heel down. Toes to the back foot. Raise the arms, high lunge. Left hand forward, right hand back, twisted warrior. Left arm scoops down and around, high lunge. Drop the back heel, left hand forward, right hand back, warrior two. Right arm down and around, high lunge, toes to the back foot. Right hand forward, left hand back. Left arm scoops down and around, high lunge. Right heel drops, left hand forward, right hand back. Right arm scoops down and around, high lunge. Left arm back, right hand forward, twisted warrior. Left arm down and around, high lunge. Right heel drops, warrior two. Right arm down and around, high lunge. Release the hands to the floor. Left leg lifts up to the ceiling. And bring the knee to the chest, squeeze. Raise that leg. Left knee, left elbow, squeeze. Raise that leg. Left knee, right elbow, squeeze. Raise that leg. Left knee to the chest. Raise the leg. Left foot to meet the right. Forward to plank, inhale. Drop down the hips, shoulders stay lifted. Inhale, plank. And back to down dog. Forward to plank, inhale. Drop down with the hips. Back to plank. And back to down dog. Forward to plank, inhale. Drop the hips. Lift the hips to plank. And back to down dog. Take a gaze in between the hands, take a bend in the knees, step, walk or jump to the front of the mat. Allow that body to fold. Bend the knees, bring the arms to the ears, find chair position. Send the hands back, come onto the toes, drinking bird. Raise those hands, sink those hips. Release the hands back, come onto the toes. Raise the arms, sink the heels back. Send the arms back and come onto the toes. Raise the arms, sink the hips, find chair pose. Bring the hands to the chest. Left elbow, right knee, rotate to the right. Back to centre. Right elbow, left knee, rotate to the left. Back to centre. Keep those hips low. Left elbow, right knee, twist to the right. Back to the centre. Right elbow, left knee, twist to the left. Back to the centre. Reach up, maybe take a back bend. Fold over those hips, bend the knees as much as you need to bring the hands to the floor. Breath in, half lift, hands on shins or fingertips. Breath out, fold. Breath in, lift. Breath out, fold. Breath in, lift. Breath out, fold. Place the hands down, step both feet back to plank. Lift the hips back, down dog. Weight comes into the left foot as the right leg lifts. Bring the knee to the chest, squeeze. Raise that leg. Right knee, right elbow, squeeze. Raise that leg. Right knee, left elbow, squeeze. Raise that leg. Right knee to the chest. Step your right foot through. Raise the arms and find high lunge first.
Then bring the hands to the hips, step forward onto your right foot, bring your left knee through. Send your left foot back, hands on hips, straighten that back left leg, straighten the right leg. Bring that left knee back forward and either straighten the leg or keep the knee bent. If the leg's straight, bend the knee back. Find that warrior three position with the legs. Bring that left knee back through, up to hip height. Maybe straighten that leg. If the leg's straight, bend the knee. Send that left foot back, torso in line with the floor. Bring that left knee back through, either keep it bent or straighten it through. If it's straight, bend the knee. Send that left foot back. Keep hips nice and aligned. Both legs straight. Hold it there for a breath. Then release the hands to the floor. Step your left foot back. Right leg lifts back up to the ceiling. Bring the knee to the chest and squeeze. Raise that leg. Right knee, right elbow and squeeze. Raise that leg. Right knee, left elbow, squeeze it under that body. Raise that leg. Right foot meets the left. Take forward to a plank. Back to down dog. Forward to plank. And back, down dog. Breath in to plank. And find down dog. Breath into plank and release to the floor, straight bodies or dropping the knees. Tent the fingers, a little change here. Breath in, lift the chest. Breath out, right shoulder drops, gaze to the left. Breath in, lift. Left shoulder drops, gaze to the right. Breath in, lift. Right shoulder drops, gaze to the left. Breath in, lift. Left shoulder drops, gaze to the right. Breath in, lift. Release the chest back down. Hands by the side of the chest, tuck the toes under. Chest back to thighs on the inhale. Back to the floor on the exhale. Chest back to thighs, inhale. Back to the floor, exhale. Push into the hands, chest back to the thighs, inhale. Back to the floor, exhale. Push into the hands, chest back to the thighs, forehead to the mat. Take a moment here just for a breath. Then push into the hands and feet, lift the hips, squeeze the heels back. Drop the knees, chest to thighs, seat to the feet. Push into the hands and lift the hips, squeeze the heels back. Drop the knees, seat to the feet. Chest to thighs. And again, lift the hips back, down dog. Drop the hips down. That version of child's pose. So this time when you arrive up in your down dog, take a pedal of the feet. Nod, shake of those heads. Next breath in, your left leg lifts. Knee comes to the chest, squeeze. Left leg lifts. Left knee, left elbow and squeeze. Raise that leg. Left knee, right elbow, squeeze. Raise that leg. Left knee to the chest. Step the left foot through. Raise the arms, find high lunge first. Bring the hands to the hips. Step forward with the right foot, bring that right knee through. Send the right leg back, torso coming parallel to the floor, finding that warrior three legs. Bring that right knee back through, either keep it bent or straighten that leg out. Take a bend into the right knee, if it's straight, send it back. Bring it back forward, right knee hip height, or straighten the leg. Bend that knee, send that right foot back. Hips stay nice and neutral, both legs straight as you go into warrior. Bring that right knee through. Straighten the leg. Bend into the knee.
Find warrior 3. Keep both hips level. Torso parallel to the floor. Release the hands to the mat. Step your right foot back. Raise that left leg. Bring the knee to the chest. Raise that leg. Left knee, left elbow, squeeze. Raise that left leg. Left knee, right elbow, squeeze across the body. Raise that leg. Knee to the chest. Raise the leg. Left foot to meet the right. Forward to plank, inhale. Drop down the hips, lift the chest. Back to plank, inhale. Back to down dog, exhale. Forward to plank, inhale. Drop down the hips, exhale. Back to plank, inhale. Downward dog, exhale. Forward to plank, inhale. Drop the hips, exhale. Back to plank, inhale. Downward dog, exhale. Gaze in between the hands, step, walk or jump to the front of the mat and allow that body to fold over those legs, feet hip width apart. Just take a hold of those elbows. Maybe make some circles in one direction. Take them the other way. Then release those arms to become heavy. Sink the hips, raise the arms to the ears. Chair pose. Release the hands behind and come onto the toes, drinking bird. Raise the hands, drop the heels, chair. Release the hands back, drinking bird, heels lift. One more time, raise the arms, drinking bird, lift the heels, arms back. Release the heels, raise the arms, find that chair, sink into those hips. Bring the hands to the chest, out breath, left elbow, right knee, twist. Back to the center, in breath. Exhale, left and twist. Back to the center, to the right with the left elbow, twist. Back to the center. Right elbow, left knee and twist. Back to the center. Reach up with the arms, maybe take a back bend. Then fold over the hips, straight legs or bent knees, bringing the hands to the floor, the shins or the ankles. Breath in, half lift, hands, shins or fingertips. Breath out, fold over the legs. Breath in, lift. Breath out, fold. Breath in, lift. And breath out, fold. Place the hands. Step both feet back. Plank. Lift the hips back. Down dog. Breath in, right leg lifts. Bring the knee to the chest, squeeze. Raise that leg. Right knee, right elbow, squeeze. Raise that leg. Right knee, left elbow, squeeze. Raise that leg. Right knee to the chest. Gaze in between the hands. Step your right foot through. Walk the hands around to the left, turning the toes in front of the heels to that long edge of the mat. Bend the knees if you need to bring the hands to the floor, wide legs. Left hand comes into the center. In breath, raise the right hand, twist to the right. Breath out, release the right hand to the left. In breath, lift the left hand, twist to the left. Out breath, release the left. In breath, raise the right hand, twist to the right. Out breath, release. In breath, raise the left hand, twist to the left. Release that left hand. One more both sides. Raise the right hand, twist to the right. Release that hand. Raise that left hand, twist to the left. And release, let the body fold over those legs. In breath, half lift. Out breath, fold. In breath, half lift. Out breath, fold. In breath, half lift. Place the hands on the hips, out breath. In breath, lift all the way up with the shoulders. Turn the right shoulders to the front of the mat, warrior two. Bring your left arm around, bring it to meet the right. Bring your left hand back to warrior two. Straighten the front leg, reach both hands up to the ceiling. Bend the right leg, warrior two. Bring your left arm around to meet the right. Bring it back, warrior two arms. Straighten the front leg, reach both hands up to the ceiling. And back to warrior two. Bring your left arm around to meet the right. Bring it back, warrior two. Straighten through the front leg, arms come up to the ceiling. Release back to warrior two. Windmill the hands down either side of the right foot. Right leg lifts up to the ceiling. Bring the knee to the chest and squeeze. Right leg lifts. Right knee, right elbow, squeeze. Raise that leg. Right knee, left elbow, squeeze. Raise that leg. Right knee to the chest. Raise the leg. Right foot to meet the left. Just take a vinyasa of your choice, full flow through, forward to plank inhale. Either dropping the knees, going all the way to the floor, or hover. Lift up the chest, inhale. Make your way back on your exhale, back to down dog. Either chest to thighs or rolling straight over those toes, lifting those hips. Breath in, your left leg lifts. Breath out, knee to chest and squeeze. Raise that left leg. Left knee, left elbow, squeeze. Raise that left leg. Left knee, right elbow, squeeze. Raise the leg. Left knee to the chest. Gaze in between the hands, step your left foot through. Walk the hands around towards the centre of the mat, long edge. This time, toes pointing out, heels pointing in. Bend the knees, curl up through that spine. One vertebra at a time, all the way up to standing. Then take a bend into the knees. Keep the torso tall. Cactus the arms. Take a breath in. Out breath, bring elbows together, palms together. Breath in, open. Breath out, squeeze together. Breath in, open, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Breath out, squeeze back together. One more time, open the arms. Inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale, squeeze it back in. Bring the hands to the hips. Raise up with the right heel. Onto the toes of the right foot, drop the right heel down. Raise up with the left heel. Drop the left heel down. Raise up with the right heel. Drop the right heel down. Raise up with the left heel. Drop the left heel down. Straighten through both legs. Find warrior two, left toes facing forward, bend into the left knee. Gaze into that left hand. Bring the right arm around to meet the left. Bring it back, warrior two arms. Straighten up through the front leg, both hands reach up to the ceiling. And back to warrior two. Right arm comes around to meet the left. Right arm comes back, warrior two. Straighten the front leg, reach up with the hands. Back to warrior two. Right arm comes around, meets with the left. Back with the right hand, warrior two. Straighten that left leg, reach up with the hands. And back to warrior two. Windmill the hands down either side of that left foot. Left leg lifts up to the ceiling. Bring that knee to the chest. Raise that leg. Left knee, left elbow, squeeze. Raise that leg. Left knee, right elbow, squeeze. Raise the leg. Left knee to the chest. Raise the leg. Left foot to meet the right. Take a vinyasa of your choice here. Forward to plank on the inhale. Either dropping the knees, straight bodies to the floor, or hover. Roll through, up, lift up the chest, maybe thighs stay away. Maybe take it back through chest to thighs or rolling straight over those toes. Lifting those hips, squeezing those heels back. From this place, make your way onto your seat, bums into the centre, heels to the front of the mat, and then bring your knees into a bend to find that balancing point in between the sit bones and that lower spine. Take a hold of the creases of the knees, raise both legs up to knee height. Bring the arms out by the side. Breath out, lower to a straight body, low boat. Breath in, lift to high boat. Breath out, low boat. Breath in, high boat. Lower, low boat. Breath in, high boat. Keep that going a few times. Working with the breath. Out breath, lower. In breath, lift. Out breath, lower. In breath, lift. Out breath, lower, feet and shoulders hover. In breath, lift. Lower and lift. One more time, lower and lift. Bring the arms around the knees, reach up through the crown of the head, and then just tuck that chin into the chest, stretch through the back of the neck. Just taking a moment, curling over those thighs just for a few breaths before we make our way down onto the floor to take water wheel, another core strength. We need to protect those lower backs. Rock yourself down onto the floor. Make a W with your hands so the thumbs just come underneath those sit bones. So the thumbs are at the lower part of the spine. Give support in the lower back. I want you to maintain that push of the back into the mat. Breath in, bring the knees into the chest, raise the feet up to the ceiling, push the heels away. Breath out, start to lower them towards a hover off the floor. Breath in, bring those knees back in towards the chest, push the heels up to the ceiling. Breath out, bring them down to a hover, keep pushing that lower back into the mat. Bring those knees back into the chest, relax through the shoulders, push the heels to the floor, ceiling, and then drop those heels towards the mat. Bring the knees back into the chest on the inhale, lift the heels, lower the heels to the floor on the exhale, keeping that core center strength. Bring those knees back into the chest, inhale, heels up. Breath out, exhale, bring those heels to hover. Knees come into the chest, lift the heels up to the ceiling. As you exhale, bring those legs to a hover. Bring the knees back into the chest. Keep pushing that lower spine into the mat. Lift the heels and lower. Two more of these. Bring those knees into the chest. Lift the heels up to the ceiling. Exhale and lower to a hover. One more. Bring the knees into the chest, up to the ceiling. Bring them down to a hover. Maybe hold it in hover for the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the knees back into the chest, give those knees a hug. Maybe a little rock of that body from side to side. Maybe making circles with the knees in one direction. And maybe bringing those circles the opposite way. Just getting a massage into that lower spine. Squeeze those knees back in towards you, into that chest. Push those shoulders to create some space through those collarbones, through those rib cages. Then let the knees come down to the sides of the mat, feet to the floor, soles of the feet together, and just rock that body from side to side. Just bringing the hands onto the hips. Just taking a couple of moments with that inner groin stretch. And then bringing the knees back to the centre, heel toe the feet out to the width of the mat. We're going to rock the knees from side to side without any hold. So arms come to a T shape. On your out breath, let the knees go to the right and the gaze to the left. In breath, come back to centre. Out breath, knees to the left, gaze to the right. Feel that stretch down those hip flexors. Back to the centre, knees to the right, gaze to the left. Back to centre. Knees to the left, gaze to the right. Back to centre. 2 more both sides. Back to the centre, over to the left. 1 more both sides. Over to the right, gaze to the left. Back to the centre. Over to the left, gaze to the right. Back to the centre. Heel toe the feet back into the middle so they are hip width apart. Bringing the hands down by the sides of the body. On your breath in, push into the feet, raise those hips all the way up to the ceiling. On your breath out, lower the hips, raise the hands up and over the head, bringing them all the way to the back of the mat. Breath in, raise the hands, raise the hips, bring the hands back up and over and down to the floor as you squeeze that bum to lift the hips. On your out breath, lower the hips, raise the hands, bring the hands back up and over the head. Breath in, raise the hips, send them up to the ceiling, the hands come up and over, back to the floor at the front. On your out breath, release those hips back down, hands come up and over. Last one, lift the hips, bring the hands back up. And as you bring those hips up this time, hold it in that extension. Try and feel like you're squeezing something in between the knees, squeezing the bum, pushing those hips as high as you can, creating some space through the back of the neck, the chin coming into the chest. And then slowly lower those bums back to the mat, feeling each vertebra coming down onto the floor one by one. And when those bums come down, find some space of relaxation for you. Maybe it's butterfly legs, maybe it's the internal rotation of the hips and the feet out to the side, which is a very comfortable position for the lower backs. Maybe those legs along to the ends of the mat. Wherever the legs are, just let the palms turn up, fingers gently curl. Close the eyes, let the tongue drop away from the roof of the mouth, the lips gently part. Soften the face, the jaw, relax through the shoulders. Thinking about all those spaces between each vertebrae of the spine, working them a lot through this practice when we take ourselves dynamically through a flow. Working our awareness from the crown all the way down through the cervical spine around the neck, the thoracic spine around the ribs, the lumbar spine in the lower back, and the sacrum around that tailbone. Just watching the breath as it expands the belly and the ribs on the inhale. And as you breathe out, everything relaxes back down on the exhale. Just being aware of all those parts of the body that are touching the floor and the clothes that are touching the skin. With those eyes closed, you can bring a better inner awareness of those senses. Maybe noticing shapes and colours on the back of the eyelids if the eyes are closed. Maybe being aware of the smells around your home, the sounds of the house, the sounds of the outside. Maybe the taste on the tongue. Just connecting with all those 5 senses as you consolidate your practice. if you're happy to stay here for another few minutes, pause the video now. Feel free to stay in this position as long as you wish. If you're coming with me, maybe start to bring some movement back into the fingers, the toes, maybe into the wrists, maybe into those ankles. And if you wish to take a full body stretch, stretching the hands up and over the head, stretching through the fingertips, the toes, maybe arching into that lower back. Then bringing the hands back up and over, bringing the knees in towards you, into the chest, maybe giving those knees a hug, maybe a rock of that body from side to side. Massaging that spine, thanking it for practice. Then taking a roll over onto your side, just take a moment here, deep breath in, long breath out. And when you're ready, slowly making your way into a seated position, bringing the shoulders over the hips, either cross-legged, legs out front or on the knees. Just bringing the hands on top of the thighs. Take a long, deep breath in, bring the hands up and over the head, bring the palms together at the top, and then bring the hands to the chest, soft gaze to the floor. Have peace in your thoughts, have peace in your words, have peace in your hearts. From my heart to yours, Namaste.